Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Good evening.
England 4, Ukraine 0. Hope everyone is well. My name is Bruce from the Amateur Football YouTube channel. This is Amateur Footballer Unhinged. And hey, this is a very, very special show. Unhinged. And someone is echoing. Oh. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that's tuning in now. Please like and subscribe. Please go and like and subscribe for Independent Vets YouTube channel, the Instagram, and also the Independent FC Club itself. Please go and like and subscribe. So on this show, someone has gone, but hopefully they'll be back. We have Mo Football Coaching. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, everyone. Doing really well.
We have Leroy M. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, one and all.
We have the man himself, the oracle of grassroots football, Coach Barry. How you doing, sir?
Good evening. Greetings, everyone. Let's have a great show.
We have Patrick and Hortense. How you doing?
Fine. We're good, thank you.
Good stuff. We have Coach Frank. How you doing, sir?
Fantastic. Feeling great. Looking forward to the show.
And we have my really good friend who I've known for over 10 years, Jamal Khan. How you doing, sir?
Yes, in my humble opinion, England are going to win Euro 2020. Yes, I just want to get out there from early.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
If 8 goals and 5 clean sheets don't make everyone confident, boy, I think England will win. Anyways.
Well, again, thank you for coming on. Jack Osborne, thank you for coming on. Good evening to you. So this show is for me about, I'd say, the most underrated part of any footballer's journey, and we are lucky to have parents of future international players on the show. Yes, I'm saying that out loud, and I'm saying it live. Yes, we have parents. We have parents of future professional elite players, international players. So thank you for all of you. For like coming on. Leroy, let's start with you first. Like a quick brief. I mean, who's your boy that's literally on the independent books?
So Leroy Jr. He's a junior. This is his first. Well, we just completed our first full season with Independent Lions under 11s. Play centre mid. Really enjoying it. And yeah, having a great time.
Cool.
Loving the experience.
And Patrick and Hortense, who is your boy?
Our boy is Troy Silvera. He's now under 18, going 19, so he's no longer at Independent, but he started Independent when he was 8 years old.
Wow. Amazing. And let's go to Coach Frank. You have been on the show before, but hey, like, you know, who is like your son that's literally part of Independence books?
Yeah, okay. My son, his name is Temu, and he currently plays for the under 15 side. We went unbeaten this year, which was fantastic. We've been at the club for about 3 years now. So yeah, really enjoying it. I started off as a parent. Now I'm involved within the club and the coaching aspect of it. So yeah, really enjoying things at the moment. So yeah, that's me.
Amazing. And we've just had one of our normal panelists just creep in. Nana, how you doing, sir? We can't hear you, which actually could be a good thing, actually. But no, thank you. Thank you, Nana. So, hey, you know what? Let's go straight into the show. And again, please, for the people who are watching, please put your questions in. These are questions towards the like parents. Anything that you want to ask, as long as it's above board. We are like here to educate, to inform, and also to entertain as well. So yeah, please put your questions in. And let me start with Jamal. What's your first question to the parents on the show?
Yeah, first question is for the parents: are they getting everything that they currently want from grassroots football? And is there anything else that can be added from the clubs and the local county football association? Sorry, that is a BBC question, but it is what it is. But yeah, is there anything more? Is there anything lacking? Is there any support? Any more support needed?
And I'll let Leroy answer that first.
Wow. Okay. Straight in. No problem. What I'd like to see more of. My coach can't do two things at once, and it hurts me when he has to do his coaching duties and he has to do his reffing duties. And I don't know where the breakdown is, but that's something I don't know who it stands with, but I want my coach coaching. How can we do something about that? I don't know who it lies with. I'm happy for anyone on the panel to pick up, but I want my coach coaching. I don't mind running walking fast down the line with to play the liner. But I want my coach coaching. How can we change that?
Well, the first question I have to that is, why doesn't he ask one of the parents to do it?
Have you tried asking one of the parents to ref a match?
No. It's a question. So if that's the answer, then fine. But I'm just saying, if he shouldn't be dubbing up. Only time a coach should be dubbing up. There's literally no parents there. If there can't be 15 parents there, then the coach is doing both. But either way, personally, I don't like we call them club assistant referees or club linos, because there's always that sort of they're biased. Let's be honest, they're naturally biased. Doesn't mean they're cheat or they can't do the role properly, but they're naturally biased. So we're trying to encourage more referees to officiate the match on their own. So that's something I'm considering something I'm considering for the London Youth Cups, because when the games get tight, or when two sort of teams of equal ability match each other in the earlier rounds, when the incentive to cheat is a little too high. So I think it's just better just to have a referee. So I think that's something that we will, from a separate angle, in regards to making sure a game comes to a safe conclusion, but that does also assist what the potential solution for what Leroy has brought forward, because I went into refereeing because I know refereeing was easier than coaching. That's personally. People always say, "Oh, refereeing is a hard job." It is a hard job. I think coaching's harder. That's just my opinion. And this is one of these examples when a coach tried to do and then running with the flag as well. That's far too much, in my opinion.
The problem, Leroy, the problem with the league for the past 4 or 5 seasons, there's been a rapid decline in referees. That's one of the major problems.
Okay.
So we've got a major shortage of referees, not just in our league. I think it's throughout London there's a decline. Jamal could expand on that more than me. So a lot of the times we've got to double up. The coaches have to ref. And none of the coaches or the managers really want to ref. They want to be there instructing the teams and showing them what to do and giving information. And also what they've changed the rule is also anybody who starts the game reffing has to finish that game reffing, or the game is seen as invalid, we've been told in the league.
Wait,
a lot of the
league rule?
Oh, sorry. That's what's been told, Jamal, by the league.
Oh, no. Well, I'm looking into that immediately, because part of it is supposed to be an element of balance, because the coaches are supposed to be coaching and looking out for other things like safeguarding. So it should be, sometimes it should be a half each, a representative from each club, a half each. So that's a bit interesting.
No, they don't. No, they don't. The game's really classed as void. If you do that, the game is void now.
So, but what happens if that person had to leave or got injured? That's
different, but if you try to share the referee, the league, our league anyway, says the game is void.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, to add on what Barry's saying, but there's a massive shortage of referees. Usually in London, every weekend there's around between 200 and 300 matches without a referee.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know Jamal is trying his damn hardest to literally sort that out. So hey, like we just have to support all of the officials and literally anyone at grassroots. That's something that we just have to do.
I can say, Jamal, we've got 2 young boys who's passed their referees course though.
Who's that?
At the club, we've got 2 boys who's done their referees course.
Okay, yeah, could be. What did they take the course last weekend?
No, about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, because we haven't been able to run any. We've only run 3 referee courses since the pandemic. So
this was before the pandemic started. We had 2 boys in class.
Yeah, we definitely need a lot more. But yeah,
cool. All right. We have a question coming in through one of our viewers. Thank you, Owen Williams, and I want to target Patrick and Hortense and also Coach Frank this one as well. So the question is for the parents: should the emphasis be more on taking part or more about learning about winning and losing? And Patrick and Hortense, I would literally love you to actually answer this.
Well, in my first, I think it should be about winning or losing. Taking part, to me, it doesn't give you any motivation as such. If there's a prize, say, to win, I think it gives you more for drive.
Okay. And Coach Frank.
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think it all three encompasses all three, because I think taking part, winning and losing, because you've got various abilities. Sometimes it's just about getting on the pitch and expressing yourself, whether you win or lose. And win or losing is a lesson in itself, So I think all three play a major part in it: taking part, winning, and losing.
Okay. So, and again, a question to like anyone that wants to answer: Do you guys believe in 8th place trophies?
No.
No.
I've never heard of that.
8th place trophies, really?
Well, I mean, it's it's gonna literally now, schools are giving medals to like children that just take part. So that's why they're called 8th place trophies. And again, are we kind of teaching our kind of young footballers, about hey, like just is the kind of mentality changing now? And would you be happy if like Independent got to a final, or let's say a quarterfinal, and touch wood, Independent get like knocked out? Would like you guys be happy just to kind of have a medal saying thank you for being like part of this tournament? I mean, would like literally that be motivation for?
To Breeze, I think that works with the really young children, the really small ones. It works that way, where you give them something, just a medal or something, just to keep them motivated, to keep them involved, to show they are appreciated for taking part. It works that way with really young. We've done it before with the 6, 7, 8-year-olds. We've done it with the really young ones, and it just keeps them happy. Everyone gets something. That's the only way I've seen it work, really. But to say the older boys, and they start to understand what winning and losing really means and achieving something, I don't think it will work that way. It's just they'll say, like Patrick just said, what would be the point? What's the point? Everyone's going to get a medal anyway. Most people who drive want to be the best. If you've got real drive, you want to come first. You want to show yourself as a winner. So that's my point anyway. With the really young players, yes. The really little toddlers, yeah, you can give everyone a trophy.
Okay. Leroy, I can see the expression on your face. I know you got something to say.
The thing is this. I think my other co-panels here, they've sort of answered what I was going to say. But essentially, look, whether it's football, whether it's life, I think that sometimes tasting that defeat in the final or wherever you come, it gives you an opportunity, gives the team an opportunity to to develop. It gives the coach a chance to say, listen, break it down. This is where we went wrong. This is what we need to go away and work on. And then the following season, there's another opportunity there to say, okay, this is where we failed last time. Now we've done the hard work. Now we've bridged that gap. Let's see how far we can go this time. So I don't really agree with everyone's a winner. Unfortunately, no. Not in football and not in life.
Okay. And again, I want to kind of go to Patrick and Hortense. I mean, your like son is like now at Middlesbrough. No, sir.
That's Troy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. And but I mean, again, you guys must have probably built up that I'd say character and kind of attitude that kind of never say die. That kind of you've like got to be first because second place is the first place loser. I mean, oh gosh, they've gone again. I think I'm really, really, really boring them.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Nana. Yes, we can hear you.
Fine.
All right. Well, let's kind of go to your question, Nana. So what's your question to the parents?
We've just lost you.
Yes. It's fine. Like this is literally what I love about technology. We will move straight on to the next question.
So I was asking, I don't know if it's, first of all, apologies for the technical difficulties on my side. I don't know if it's been asked already, but I just wanted to find out in terms of the parents. So I know you're passionate about football, standing on the sidelines and screaming and shouting, we get it every week, especially when I'm doing the youth games. But what prompts you, as a referee in the middle, what prompts you to scream and shout? I'm just going straight in. So parents, please excuse me, but what prompts you to shout and scream and give the referees in the middle so much abuse on a Saturday or Sunday? Why your kids just want to play football?
That's a great question. And I think sometimes it's not about the children, it's about the parents. Do you understand?
Yes, this is going straight to the parents. The children would just want to play football, but sometimes you have to stop the game, go to the sideline, and speak to the parents. Sometimes it's so bad that you have to warn them that if they don't stop, you're going to call the game off.
Okay.
How? I mean, what goes through their head when they do that?
Coach Frank?
What would go through a person's head? Okay. So you want to answer that? What goes? I mean, I've stood on the sideline, and I mean, I've been watching my son from a very early age. I've got two sons. One played rugby, one played football. Totally different scenario in terms of what the rugby parents do and what the football parents do.
True.
I just think it's the individual. It's about encouraging your boys at the end of the day and encouraging a team. But I think certain parents do go too far, and I don't know if it's a societal problem or just that individual has anger issues. I think it's a personal issue with that particular individual. You understand? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense for you, but I just want the Hortiz Silvera family to answer, and then I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think personally on the sideline, being among the other parents, I can see sometimes lots of passion. It's more to do with their passion rather than anger. And I had a few friends on the sideline who would be shouting, screaming, and sometimes run onto the pitch. And I think that's all to do more with passion and maybe lack of understanding of the game.
I would say lack of respect of the officials.
I think with that statement just been said about the lack of understanding, that's where the sort of parent education in terms of how as football providers, how we can support parents in workshops or webinars of respect on the sideline. You know, that's why you've got code of conduct within clubs, and I think it's that case of just reinforcing and just getting the parents to understand and see it from the point of view of the referee. And I think once parents see it from the point of the referee, then the understanding and the parents will divert their anger into good passion to them motivate and encourage their sons or daughters. But yeah, I think it comes down to that understanding of the game, understanding of the role of the referee. And that's why the FA are such huge forefronters in terms of the respect code of conduct. You know, I know clubs will have, you know, parent code of conduct that you have to sign, and if you break, then you may have sanctions. You can quote me, the parents maybe. No, yes.
Yeah,
Jamal knows where.
I signed it. Yes, yeah.
Jamal knows where I'm coming from. Yeah, and I think if coaches refer to the code of conduct that you signed at the start of the season, parents will then see, oh, okay, I remember signing that. And again, it's just a lot of reinforcement, coach education, parent education. You know, as coaches, we have to, you know, do relevant CPDs to upskill ourselves and maintain our qualifications. And I think as a parent of a player, you know, there needs to be some form of, CPDs and support on their side and it will filter down from the FA down, isn't it?
Can I say though that I understand from what the parents have said, because I have a child as well. Well, four, 2 adults, two kids. Now, I understand the passion of getting onto the pitch. I have no issue with that. You know, screaming, shouting, jeering your kids on. But if you take anything away from today, let the kids play football. Let them have fun. Because like Jamal said earlier on when my mic wasn't working, a lot of young children, a lot of youth do not want to referee anymore because of their views. And it's just not worth it. The kids want to play football. If you behave properly on the sidelines, the kids can enjoy themselves. You can spur them on, you can ginger them on, and they can actually enjoy, because football brings us together. So if there's no referee in the middle, you probably have your kids kicking each other because there's nobody to, you know, sort of sort things out on the pitch. So please, if you take nothing away from today, please let the kids play football. Give us a little bit of respect. We are human. We will make mistakes. Just like your kids will probably shoot the ball 5 yards away and not score, and it will go into the corner line of the throw in. It's the same thing. So please.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
I think with that, I think it just still comes down to the parents understanding that you could have parents who can't see it from our point of view because we are in this, you know, we are football coaches, we are referees. You could have a parent who just comes at a weekend and can't see it from your point of view. So it's how we can support them dealing with such emotions like what you just said.
We need support as well. That's what I'm trying to get at.
There is support.
There's plenty of support.
I want to apologize to everyone here.
What, as in us cheering along?
Biggest mistake.
What kind of support are we talking about?
If there's no parents, if there's no players, there's no game for you to referee, and there's no players for me to coach. So we need to support the parents.
I'll tell you now, I don't know what Jamal is going to apologize for, but I would happily sit at home and not referee, other than come on the pitch and get some parents be in my ear. Listen, we just going a bit off rail, but you and I know that, yes, everybody's passionate about football. Sometimes it just gets overboard. When it's like under 9s, under 10s, it just gets overboard. And I do agree with the training and understanding. If you set up these webinars, are the parents going to attend? These code of conduct that they're signing in the schools, in the clubs, are they being followed through?
Okay, wait.
Because if these things are actually happening...
One second. So, Barry, because there are a lot of clubs who are on our radar for poor parental behavior. Now, independent has never been on that radar. So I'm. And it is a question because I am assuming that for Coach Barry, Coach Frank, you don't have a widespread problem with parental discipline at the club, do you?
No, we don't have that. I don't allow that.
So then, what do you do? How have you achieved that sort of high standard of parental discipline?
The high standard, I think it comes within when you come to India and you join independent, it's the atmosphere there is completely different from other clubs. I think one of the things, we're not just totally based on just winning. Our emphasis is not just on winning. Our main emphasis is on development. And the parents are told that from the very beginning. We're more of a development club than just a lot of clubs. What causes that is because the coaches have that. They just sort of win, win, win. And that mentality breeds that sort of environment when the game starts. Some clubs just sort of win by any means necessary. Absolutely. But my other point, what I think Nana's got wrong, Nana, you're putting so much on the parents where a lot of the referees we get are not up to standard. You've got to think about that yourself as well. And referees like yourself, you must know you're going to get some sort of comeback from the sidelines, whatever. That's part of the game. It is. And like I said to you a couple of weeks ago, if you're a crap ref, you're going to get it. If you're not a good ref, people are going to make comments. Not all the refs are that great. There's a shortage of refs. And what some of the parents need to know, which I found out, I need to speak to Jamal. He said someone can become a ref after a weekend. A 2-day course, you become a ref.
No way. No way.
How long would you expect? How long would you expect the course to be?
How long would you expect the course?
2 days.
Yeah, but how long?
And then just go and ref a game.
But how long would you expect the course to be?
I would expect maybe a week.
A 1-week course. I mean, in regards to the numbers we have.
And actually then go and watch somebody reffing to experience that, right, firsthand, and then maybe if that person wants to go through and actually ref a game, then they can do it.
Well, there's only one thing worse than having 300 matches without a ref every weekend. That's 400 matches every weekend without a ref. And that's exactly what would happen if we had a 1-week course.
You're seeing fights up and down fields, which sometimes is caused by bad refereeing. I'm not saying all the time.
Every time there's a fight, to some extent, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the referee's fault, but the referee doesn't.
I'm not saying that.
Oh no, but the referee does have an element of responsibility for sure.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, let's focus on independent, which we are anyway. Independent, under 11s, under 9s, under 13s. That is supposed to be entry level football. So irrespective of the course is 1 day, 6-week course. They got to go to university to ref. Whatever it is, refereeing that standard of football is supposed to be entry-level football before we start thinking about the elite grassroots, then non-league, then national league, then the professional game, right? So they are supposed to be able to go into that environment and get an opportunity to officiate without too much pressure. Now, the reality is they're actually better off going to the sort of non-elite grassroots for adults where there's no one on the side. And there's literally 22 people at the ground, which is 11v11. No subs, no parents, no wags, no one. That's the. But even though it's adults and the game is faster, when you go and referee the younger age groups, and there's almost a ring around the pitch with parents, siblings, and supporters, that is where there is an extra added pressure. However, the thing is, it may change, but it's not going to change anytime soon. Unlikely. The level of football where you guys are running your club at is entry level. If they can't handle it there, technically, they won't be able to handle it anywhere. Now, because there's a massive shortage, there's a huge drain on the quality. It's not so much about the quality of refs in your league are bad. It's that the second anyone shows half decent amount of quality, they're literally taken straight up to a senior league, and then sometimes even as an assistant referee on the non-league because there's a shortage up there as well. So the sometimes when you do get a couple golden nuggets, they get literally taken from you within 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. Literally, and then you're left with who you currently have, which is the mercenary refs who referee just for money, don't care too much about the kids' development, don't care too much about their appearance. They're literally just there to do a job. Some of them are decent, and then most importantly, when they make a mistake, at least they aren't biased. That's the main thing. But yeah, it's interesting that you expect the course to be longer. It used to be a 3-day course. It's now a 2-day course. It used to be 24 hours or 3 8-hour days. It's now 12 hours. because we can't expect football people to take off 3 Saturdays or 3 Sundays to do the course. It was affecting the numbers, and so we are a long way from being where we want to be. It's a very, very long way.
Okay.
Cool, nice one. And Nav, thank you for your question. And this is probably, I'm going to ask Leroy and Coach Frank. How would you feel if your player was benched, and not just benched for just one game? Let's say consistently a sub or consistently not making the 90 minutes. Leroy Senior, how would you feel if Leroy Junior was in that position?
Okay, that's interesting. So we left the club we were at formerly before we obviously joined Independent, because what we were finding is that players had gone off to academies or got scouted for teams, etc. And there was a bunch of us, a bunch of faithful parents that would go around picking up all the kids, make sure everybody's got shin pads, etc., get them to the game, only to find out that our kids were not playing, and these players that are coming from elite teams were coming back for the odd game and getting played. So at first, I had a conversation with the coach, and in fact, the coach felt as though, who are you to tell me how to run my team? So I said, fine. With respect, we left the club. Before we did, it was amicable. I had a conversation. In fact, one of the senior coaches at the club gave me Coach Barry's number. Thank God he did. And that was actually how we joined the team. I have no problem in our current Coach Jason, calling Leroy off if he's not in the game, or if he's not effective, or if he wants to change the system. I mean, look, we're really grassroots stuff here. I have no problem whatsoever with Leroy coming off the pitch, but I think certainly at his level, that development has to be there, and that's why I love Independent so much, because it gives him an opportunity to have a bad game and then correct it the week after. So I really enjoy that about Independent. So hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Leroy. We're gonna need a name, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna need a name. Sorry, I'm sorry, because you're saying Leroy Junior did a transfer, but you said Leroy Junior did a transfer, but you only named the club that he went to. You didn't name the club that he came from. So.
Oh wow!
We're not here to hide anything.
You want me to name and shame? No chance. No. Wow.
He's made a transfer. We just want to know where he came from.
I'm sure Coach wouldn't be impressed. No.
Leroy, come on. Just want to know what club he came from. That's what it is.
I'll put it in the chat.
He's a very, very clever man.
Very, very clever.
You want to know?
I love that. Coach,
I still have love for the other team, man. I still no. You know what it is? No. Listen. I know this is a real podcast. Listen, I know this is a real podcast, yeah. But I just had a problem with that coach, who is now no longer part of the team. So
exactly, that's even better.
Fair enough.
Leroy. You said you have love for the club. Show the love in it.
Wow.
Don't put the man under pressure. He doesn't.
I know. You know what?
Don't. Do not do it.
Do not do it.
You're gonna talk to a referee about pressure? Really? Come on, hey Leroy. Come on.
Coach Frank, how?
Oh, for real? You really want a name?
No, you're not.
Yes.
Leroy, no. Leroy, do not give him a name. No, do not give out a name. No.
All right, can you put it in the chat, please? I can compromise on the chat. Type it in the chat, in the private chat. Yeah?
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Brilliant, Coach
for me,
Frank. Yeah.
For me, the whole benching
you have to love a delay, you know.
Let me stop. The whole benching issue is how the
I'll
coach
put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat.
It is how the coach does it. If it's continuous, if I'm seeing my son not getting a start, not coming on at all, then as a parent, you know, I'd have to question and look at, you know, do I see my son as being good enough to play? And if he's not playing, is the coach giving me a good enough reason why he's not playing? You know, me as a coach, my son plays in the same side I coach, and sometimes I have to take him off, you know, or not start him sometimes. So it just depends on the game that you're playing, and but I don't have a problem with him being benched per se. That's no problem. But it's how continuous it was if he's continually benched for me to actually come and say something. If it's for a game and he's not starting, not a problem. 2 games he's not starting. If he's not playing well, the coach is telling me he's not playing well, not performing well. That's fine, and it's up to him then to try and get into the team. You know, I've got no problem with him fighting to get into the side. That's not a problem. But it's how it's done and how it's explained by the coach, which I think is important.
And Coach Frank, are you a little bit more harder on your son because, of course, you know, people can look at you and go, yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah.
Without doubt, yeah.
And is that because you don't want eyes to be on you? Because again, you know, if like you're playing your son.
Yeah, that is a great question. It's a great question because psychologically, I think that I don't want to be seen as having some sort of favoritism to him, you know. But he earns his place. He does earn his place.
Says who? Says who?
I say it. But yeah, there is a, you know, I'm wary of that. That is in the back of my mind.
To breathe.
Coach.
His son's name's Temu the Great.
Wow, that's a strong name, you know.
That is what is
there not do clubs not have a 50% rule where each player has to play 50% game time no matter what?
Bro, have you signed?
Have they not heard of that?
Wow. Okay.
Some clubs, I think some clubs operate that in terms of it being fair, like a level playing field.
Yeah, but
I actually don't think that's a bad idea, you know.
No, but you see, again, I don't know about that. I am because you know, again, it comes down to to those 8th place trophies, kind of, terminology. So like, you are just playing players just to play, like No.
But hold on, the 8th place trophy thing is fine. Different. There's a difference between footballers and a bunch of kids who kick football. If you're
but remember, they're paying to play. They're paying to play.
Yeah, it depends on the level, isn't it? Because if like under 9s, under 10s, 8, 9, 10s, 11s, it depends on the level. You see, the question about when you ask parents, is it about winning or is it about participating and enjoying football? That's crucial over here. Because I believe that at the developmental stages, they just want to play football. And if they're paying to play 8, 9, 10, 11, then I think the 50% assurance of playing is not a bad option at all. I wanted to actually ask the parents, how expensive do they think football is? I know what I have to go through. How about them? Maybe they want to share how expensive they find it is, because your time and your money.
Okay. Yeah.
It cannot.
Yeah.
Can anybody?
Yeah.
I'll speak up. I mean, it's.
Sorry.
I think it's a huge commitment from parents. You know, the kit, the boots, because the kids are growing all the time, so you're constantly buying about 2 or 3, maybe 2 or 3 boots a season. In terms of how quick they grow the feet. So, it is expensive in terms of time and money, but I think it's a good reward. It's rewarding for me as a parent. as a parent is very rewarding, but it is expensive and it is time consuming, and you have to be committed as a parent. You really have
Exactly.
to.
Yeah.
So with that being said, add on with that. So with that time commitment, financial commitment, in terms from a point of view from a coach, what would you what expectations do you have of your coach from a parent point of view, considering those factors we've said? In terms of what do you look for in a coach, in terms of their qualities, attributes, and what expectations do you have as a parent?
Okay, and I would love Patrick and Hortense to actually answer that.
To be fair, I think the child works better to football or any sports when the coach actually believes in that child. And if you're going to show that you don't believe in that child at home, coming from a background of teaching, I teach adult teaching, right? And if I have adults before me and I show them no interest whatsoever, they even act up worse than a child. So it's all about collaborating the effort and interest in the child as much as the child showing that effort and interest on the pitch. I think that's
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, Leroy, have you got anything to actually add?
Sorry, can you just recap on the question? I dropped out for a little bit, so my Wi-Fi was.
Recap on the question.
So, off the back of Nana saying about and Coach Frank saying about the time commitment of the parents, the financial commitment, in terms of the kit, boots, etc. I pose a question in terms from a coach's point of view. What expectations do you have of your child's coach, and what maybe qualities and skills do you look for within a coach? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially, look, my son's 11 years old. Okay. This is the first, real competitive sports we've played. He's played. So essentially, it's his ability to break down what's happening across a wider spectrum area of play, and how can he communicate that to my son and make that real for him. So there's that aspect. That's the match day gameplay kind of talk, and then there's the Friday training where okay, I noticed on the weekend your left foot is really weak. We need to work on it. So it's that motivating, not that kids on the under 11s need much motivation to play football, but to understand the weak points of our children and try and develop them in that aspect.
Yeah.
So it's twofold, really.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Being able to identify players' weaknesses and then addressing them.
Yeah, and hold them accountable sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not always you're not always Maradona, and yeah, you should have just played it simple. But without the the sort of either silent type or super aggressive type, but ability to some players you do. I don't know where this phrase comes from. It's probably a mad cliche, but you put your arm around one and give the hair treatment to the other. But having that ability and still coming across, that's all. So for me, when I got to independent, I barely say anything. For me, it's more just, oh, what a goal, what a save,
that's good.
The mad vague stuff that parents.
No, that's good.
I think it's also very, very evident to see how independent football club is run as opposed to other clubs, and it's very, very important because not bigging Barry up. We all know what a good job he does, but it's run to a certain level. I mean, he doesn't even need it. We all know the job he's done for years and years and years. But I'm saying that in terms of discipline, in terms of expectation of the coach, coaching is about understanding, managing the kids, knowing their, emotional IQ, knowing their temperament, like you said, either hairdryer treatment or hand behind, around the shoulders, knowing which one to employ at which time to make the kids involved, to make them feel appreciated, to make them know that you believe in them and develop them. That's all that's important. If so much emphasis from the parents is not focused on winning, as opposed to the children enjoying themselves, I think we can have better quality human beings from football.
Yeah.
Just my opinion on that.
I think, Nana, I think the problem is, like, as we've all mentioned, independent don't really suffer with that. So when sometimes we've played away this season and it's been a really hostile environment, and that's normally from the other side of the pitch. But I mean, in essence, what we find is most of our parents, if the opposing team make a good save, we'll applaud their keeper, we'll applaud their striker, we'll tell their winger that was a good cross. So that doesn't really come from us, if that makes sense. So unfortunately, just with that comment, we might be preaching to the choir. However, we've played away, and all hell's broken loose.
So it's mainly, like you said, it's testament to the fact that the clubs are sometimes run as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. No. Brilliant. And I would love to ask a question. And hey, like, we are literally on YouTube, so let's kind of talk about social media. Is it kind of something that you guys invest time in? Are you guys active? Do you guys look in your kids' Instagram accounts, TikTok accounts? What's your whole opinion about social media in like grassroots football and let's be very specific within the independent brand? And let's kind of start with Coach Frank.
Social media, not a great fan of it. I know the importance of it. I do monitor my son in terms of what he does on there, what he's allowed to go on. But I can see the importance of it from the club's perspective in terms of advertising and being out there. But I think as parents, we have a responsibility to monitor what our children are looking at and what they have on their phone. And I don't think enough of us do.
100%.
Actually, Coach Barry, I mean, what do you think about social media? And again, do you think independent should be doing a lot more, active work? I mean, what's your opinion?
We should be, but we're just cutting onto it. The side what I find a bit negative on social media for me as a coach is that lots of the young boys now, when I was growing up, I enjoyed watching a whole football match. Me and Frank was talking about this the other day. Now the young boys and girls, all they watch is clips. They watch a little bit of skill and they don't really get game understanding. Their time is short. They're like little short clips. So they become restless when they're going to watch a whole game and get understanding from watching a whole game. So it's very hard sometimes if you say to a child, sit down and watch this game, watch the whole game. It's very difficult. So that side of it has been very negative for us in developing and whatever, because they just see the short clips and I think football's just about that. I read in the paper, a player in 90 minutes, he only touched the ball between 2 and 3 minutes the whole game. So what are you doing the rest of the game? The rest of the 90 minutes. A lot of people don't realise that. A player only touches the ball between 2 and 3 minutes in a 90-minute game. But the social media, yeah, it's important if you're going that way. We've never, as a club, like I said before, we've always, when we've been recruiting or people coming to join, we've always been through someone we know or someone's come along and we've given them time to come in and see the environment, if they like the club and if they fit. Anyway, I think the parents can tell you more about that side of the link,
Yeah.
how they joined the club and how did they get to come to the club. A lot of the parents didn't come to the club through social media. It's through word of mouth, what they heard, and did they fit within the club. I always give them a chance. Do you like the club? Do you think it fits? Is this for you? Or the other way around, do I think they're the right parent to be coming into this club? So it's very funny. I know you're a really big supporter of social media. It has got its positives, but it's also got very many negatives, which all the parents know you have to be aware of it now. In my house, when I'm ready, I switch off Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi goes down. Go to bed. And then I get all hell in my house. My Wi-Fi goes down. Oh,
Okay.
you want to hear children scream?
Wi-Fi lock off.
Patrick and Hortense, I mean, what do you guys think about social media? Like the benefits and the not so good stuff.
I think with social media, as our boys are much older now, we've got 2. And I think we instill certain discipline in them from day one, from they were younger. And Troy, with a broader knowledge, been traveling to football tournaments across Europe, so on, and he had knowledge of things that happened in the past with other players. Then he developed this understanding that he shouldn't go too deep in indulging with certain areas and aspects of the world. So he will put a little clip here and there about football training and games and so on, which is good. And obviously he will then sometimes put a little clip of Barry's team, and he will let people know this is his background, this is where he started, and so on. Those things are actually good. I know, however, he said I'm told for Snapchat, so he made his account but didn't want me nowhere near it. So yeah, I took that on. I'm too old for it. It's fine. But yeah, I have somebody who will keep an eye on him, which is his big sister.
Tabriz,
Coach.
I think Hortense and Patrick have got a wealth of knowledge for a parent to know, because their son has been to grassroots. He played at Fulham, he's played at Charlton, he's been at trial-like clubs at Bournemouth, things like that. So it'd be good to ask them what impact has it had on the family?
Well, there you go.
So much, the impact, and how the other children in the house feel, because you're giving one child so much attention through so many years. Things like that, I think every parent should really listen to how they've dealt with it, how they've coped with it, and how the other children have felt that one child has had so much attention.
Okay, okay. You know what, Patrick and Hortense, how do your other children think about you supporting your favorite child?
I didn't say favorite.
Tabriz, you know. Bloody hell.
Wow.
I don't think my older son take it as in a jealous way or favorite. He was the one we took to Barry in the first place, our older son.
Yeah.
So he was number 1 to Barry's team. And then eventually he didn't want to play football anymore. So he concentrated on doing basketball. So, but not at a level where he's competitive, just at school. So we allow him to do that. And he will always give his support to Troy. As in when he had a bad game, Troy would come home sulking and you would just hear the 2 of them upstairs talking about it. And he would give his good feedback and so on. So it was never a way where he was jealous or feeling as if we're giving too much attention to Troy. He didn't feel left out at all, because most time it's open for him to come. And as Barry would say, bring Aaron. He can learn to do the referee. And he wouldn't want to come out. So it was more his choice to stay in.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, older or younger siblings, there like must be some sort of very natural sibling rivalry, and literally how like do you control that in your household? And again, this is like a question to to any of the parents?
Do you know what? It must be God.
We're lucky.
I don't even say luck. I say we're blessed. We never ever had fight or anything like that. A few scraffle here and there, but I just don't know. We might be just blessed because Aaron started at a very early age at his school, and you would see him buying trainers for Troy, T-shirts for Troy, food for Troy, till it's getting bad in my house that my dinner is not been eaten anymore. So, they just have bond that is just like, I don't know if it's the age gap. It's like 3.5 years. So they're really just bonded, to be honest.
No, brilliant. And
sorry, can I ask one more question?
Yes, coach.
Yeah.
It's to like Frank and Leroy, because you're out so much doing football and stuff like that. How do your partners feel? How do you get around that?
Oh, wow.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
You have to make up the evening, that's what I said.
Wow.
Before you answer that, can I just say that we know as footballers in our team, in the best team, we know how some partners don't let their men come and play football. Case in point to Greece. So
listen,
we understand. Whatever you say, we understand. Please carry on.
Listen, you know what? Before anyone answers, let me just answer Nana just for a quick second, because you know what? It's all about teamwork. I believe in teamwork. So yes, there's been times where if the missus needs to do something, I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? You go and do it, because listen, a happy wife is definitely a happy life, 100%.
Nobody disputes that. But coming football, a whole season, coming football like 6 times, we have like 40, 50 games to play. Come on now. I'll leave it at that. Let the parents answer their questions. I'll leave it at that.
The question.
It's funny you say that, because I have this row with Patrick all the time, because he played cricket up to now.
Yeah.
And the whole season he could be gone. So I think the best way around it, I start joining him. Because obviously I'm left at home doing all the housework I normally do and so on. So I thought, you know what? Picnic. Let's get the chicken. I was not very at home anymore. And now the boys are so big, they don't come with us anymore. And I'm still going with it. So that's the way around it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yo, I love that. I just love that. I just absolutely love that. I mean, it's different from wives taking their husbands to Peppa Pig World for the whole month and not coming football. Something like that. When we need the guys on the pitch, like, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Frank, let's hear what Frank and Leroy have to say. I want to hear what Frank and Leroy have.
I think for me, it's about getting a balance. I got in a bit of trouble today because Sunday it's a rest day, and it's for me and my partner to spend time together.
Okay.
Right. So I did mention it to her. Listen, I'm going football on Sunday because we didn't go on Saturday. I only went once during a week, because we usually train twice a week and maybe for Saturday. So it's usually 3 times. So we only went 1 time this week, and I said I'm going to go on Sunday. So I'm heading out the house this morning. Where are you going? I told you. Oh, they look very. So I think it's getting a balance.
It's all about balance. Yeah,
absolutely. So you have to make sure you have a day that you spend together, and it's for them.
Yeah.
Right. And you have your other times. You just make sure you communicate and let them know when you're playing and what time and so on. But yeah, communication is very important, and balance is another. So,
and to you, Leroy.
So what we decided to do was, and that's a good thing again about independent, is that my 5-year-old Joshua comes and watches the team, and he plays with Leroy's teammates, younger siblings. My daughter Ava, 6 years old, she comes along and plays as well. So it turns from this football. Leroy's gone with Junior to play football every Saturday morning. To the weather's nice, you're guaranteed there's going to be some grass area or some off area where they can go and play and not intervene in the game. So that's exactly what happens. And if we're playing away, and it just so happens pre-COVID, by the way, it just so happens to be a nice town. You walk through the town, do a bit of shopping, stop for lunch. Before you know it, that's a day out. That's perfect. But I just want to go back to something. Everybody keeps on saying this, happy wife, happy life. And that, to a degree, is true. But the small print is they never get happy. So you never get to the.
Leroy, you know, you're by yourself, Leroy. You know, Leroy, you're by yourself.
Listen.
You're in trouble.
Listen. I'm gonna. I said it. No. Listen, this is like Moses looking Leroy, into the promised land. He can see it, but he ain't ever gonna get there. They're never happy. So it's just continual obeying and serving and groveling. I'm teasing, but yeah. Again, listen. Everybody said it before. A little bit of balance, a little bit of planning as well, and you know, if you can put in a little surprise here and there, maybe go for dinner, etc. It's all to the power of good. But you know, like I say, independent. When we're there, it feels like family anyway. Once you get there, so. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, and like, you know what, and again, with all jokes aside, I can kind of definitely echo that, because you know, like I can play for like the independent vets team, and I say 9 times out of 10, Nana will bring his like wife and his like kids, and there's other parents as well, their like kids as well. So it is a family oriented club. And you know, I think that really helps. And hey, like, you know, let's be real, you know, the older we become or the more experience we like becomes, like, sometimes football is our kind of only, I'd say, way out in terms of reality, in terms of our kind of everyday work. So yeah, for like us to coach, to us to manage, to like for us to referee, to us playing. I think, you know, everyone within the household knows that, hey, you know, everyone needs their time away, and you know, we are very lucky to actually have independent that we can go to and just really enjoy ourselves. So again, you know, literally, I just want to say that. And a question that Ray, the Vets manager, has put into the chat. Question to the parents: what would you like to see improved at independent? And let's kind of start with Coach Frank.
Oh, you would come to me first, wouldn't you? What would I like to see improvement? I mean, the quality, the pitches could be better for me in terms of the maintenance of the pitch. Sometimes it's. I mean, we haven't played a lot this season, but I think the maintenance of the pitch for me could be better in terms of the groundsman and what he does. You know, could do more work on it, I think. So for me, the maintenance of the pitches, we have great facilities there, and the changing room area. That's something that could be improved upon as well. Toilets as well. So pitches and toilets for me could be something that could be improved on.
Okay. And Leroy?
Definitely echo the pitch. I think Coach Barry and I discussed maybe a fortnight ago now. I think I would like to see a bit more training. So perhaps training twice a week. The problem is, obviously, I'm sure the coaches are more than willing, but what does everybody's lifestyle look like during the week? So that might be a bone of contention. But certainly, I'd like our team to train more than once a week. That's for me. That's how I go.
Okay. And Patrick and Hortense.
I don't know that much right now, although we still go to watch the games. But as Troy's not there, we don't go to the facilities. So we don't really see much of what's going on there. And for me, I mean, communication is great. We get to find out what we need to find out still, what's going on with the club. And just recently, I've sent a friend over to Barry, and she saw all that she needed to see before even meeting Barry. So I think just keep working on the Instagram page, Barry, and obviously information has been passed on all the time by your WhatsApp group. And I think that's good enough for me right now because I still go and watch and support.
Okay, cool. And to like Coach Barry, I mean, are they kind of little things that you think people like, you know, myself, Nana, Ray, of like people who have like a bit of influence, at anything that, you know, is there anything that we can do to literally improve the independent brand?
I think the vets, I would say thank you to all of you all the time. I think you've improved the club and you brought the club to another level now, having the elders there, the team there. But we're still working on the infrastructure, still can improve our social media. I think the club needs to expand a bit more with like coaches, teams, and like Leroy said, it'd be lovely to get all the teams doing 2 sessions a week, but once again, it's commitment. It's all, at the moment, it's all voluntary. In the future, we're hoping that we can get people paid for their services. And I always do apologize for the state of the pitch and the changing rooms, but it's out of our hands at the moment. But we are going to look at that because it is still, the pitch and the change facility is owned by Nuffield. So that's out of our hand, but it's no excuse. We're going to try and tidy up the facilities in the changing rooms and things like that ourselves anyway. We're just going to do it. We have to. It needs to be done. But it's great that we have elders there that can come in, help. You've all got different skills where you can come in and do, and you've all offered. So we've formed a new committee. Some of you might have heard. We're forming another committee, and we'll address all the things we need to do. I don't want to be, what I find happy, what I'm glad for now, I've got more support around me, and I've got more direction where the club is going. Before, it was so much on myself. It was kind of draining me. But with all of you, thank you very much for all the support I've ever had from everyone. I know everybody keeps calling my name, but it's not just about me. I can't do anything without your support and all the support I get from you. From my heart, I do bless everyone who's come in and genuinely help. I really do. But we will get things right. Just trust.
Can I also add that, I mean, especially to all the parents watching out there, the club wants to grow, and we are in dire need of sponsorship. So if you have any links, if you have any networks who can help, any companies who can help the club, by all means, please bring it on board. They could do a lot of good for the club. As you can see, it keeps these kids off the streets. It gives them a sense of purpose. It gives them a sense of family. It gives them a sense of belonging. You know, gets them something to focus on. With all these things happening on the streets, these crimes, these deaths, these, you know, it'll be good if we can get some sponsorship in to help promote this club and push it forward.
Yeah, cool. No, brilliant. Coach Mo, question. Yeah, like, can you please ask the parents any questions, please?
Yeah, so I think quite a few topics have been discussed around winning and development. I think the general consensus is the development, and then when it gets to a point of when you then should focus on winning, there's a range of different ages on the panel as well. So in terms of duration of being at a club, so for example, most players will play with their friends from maybe school, and then they get brought in. But then when do you feel like maybe as a parent you feel that my child has been progressing for a vast amount of years, and then you feel that maybe you may want to take the next step and maybe go to maybe a higher team in a higher league, or if you feel you want to explore that avenue of academy, as a parent, when do you feel that's the right time for your child?
I think, Fabrice,
yeah, coach.
I think Patrick and Fortes would be the best, because remember, they've done the journey.
Yeah.
And I think they're the perfect people to give other parents advice.
Yeah.
They could give some really great advice on what it's like and what tips they think people should understand about it. Give them some real talk.
Some real talk now, please.
Some real talk, what it's really like. Sorry, Fabrice, go on to me.
That's fine. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Let me first say that. In terms of going to an academy and going through the chains and channels, it's not always the best, because right there at grassroots, Troy was doing so well. I think there was like 3 clubs came from at that one point, Barry.
Yeah.
Where he went to Fulham, and when he went to Fulham, now that was a culture shock, because it was like completely different from what he was used to. And I think as well, being the backbone for him, we had to learn that very quickly. Because in reviews and so on, he was normally being told he's too short. And he sort of started to think that he's just too short. So I said, before this become complex, step right in there. I said, let your attitude on the ball prove that shortness doesn't mean nothing. So he started to do extra training again with Barry while he's at Fulham and so on. And to be fair, I'm going to go all the way now to explain to other parents now that might need to hear this. When they release him, it was more to do with his height, not his ability on the ball.
Really?
Yeah. And that again could have turned into something that make your child feel as if he's no good no more. He's not, inferior to others. And he was short, and he used to come home and he measured by the wall and he put a mark there. And he literally started to go through that phase. And we have our other son that has no problem with shortness. And I said, Troy, just bear in mind, you'll always be taller than your mom. And I'm 5'5.5". So if that gives you some hope. I said, everybody was taller than their mom, and you taller than me. So I think he started to take that as a positive. And then it didn't take no time to be into Charlton. And everything they said they didn't like about him anymore is what Charlton loved about him. So then that brings back his eyes right up, and he continued to just channel through the journey. And I always believe in faith, and I'm a believer. So I just put in with, make sure you're praying for yourself. I can't pray for you all the time. You know, pray for yourself, know what you want, and try and reach for the stars. If that's what you want, we are 100% behind you. But we're not forcing you into it. Still want to carry on the journey. It's really up to you and your ability and your training and the time you put in on training and games. And he took that as a positive, and he just continued going. Then he was released from Charlton, and then that was a little downer again for him. Right back to Barry he went again, and he was just enjoying football. I could see the difference, like the pressure was off, and he was just enjoying football at Barry. And a few friends who got released as well was at Barry at the same time with Troy. And they just get in their stride and just continue going. And then he went and played with Tottenham Mitcham adults, 23s. And he find that that's giving him little experience playing with bigger men.
Yeah.
And he sat on, and then he went to Sutton. And he's still training so hard. And I think he's a believer as well, and it's what you instill in them that will be the end output.
Yeah.
Can we give a round of applause to these parents? Because, like, it's incredible. It's amazing that, you know, it feels like giving your child that solid foundation, that belief that it can be anything that it chooses to be, so far as they have that backing, that support, that foundation from the parents, it goes a long way. You know, so I'm really, really grateful for you guys being on the channel today. Well done, Barry, Tabriz, for getting them on. And I hope all the parents are listening, because this is, people pay to hear these sort of things. People feel like, yeah, if your child is skillful enough, you're gonna make it. It's not about that. It's not only about that. Yes, your talent, your hard work, but it's about your solid foundations as well. You can be released from here, you can bounce back. So fast you have the support and the people to continue to drive you on. So I'm really grateful for you guys for being on the show and sharing this with the other parents.
Well, thank you, Nana. And again, to like Coach Frank, and then also to like Leroy, would love to get your opinion.
For me, I mean, obviously Temu plays at Independent at the moment, and he's been through a journey in terms of clubs. He's been to about 3 clubs, but each time he's developed. So I could sense in terms of when he was outgrowing a particular club, and it was time to move him on. And as a parent, you have to realise that. So it's not necessarily the playing ability of the players around him. Maybe the club itself is not the right environment for him. So yeah, so it's up to the parent to make sure you have to speak to your child and be able to sense certain things. It's time to move to another phase of your development as a player and as a person, an individual, because it's about development. And for me, it's not just about football. It really is just not all about. It's about development of the self as well, the young individual. And that's what I think some of us we tend to miss. It's about their development, and football plays an aspect of it. You know, so for me, it's about reading your son, knowing your son, and knowing when it's for him time to move on and to step up. You know, so it's always building him. And for me, Independent at the moment, when he first started this, he was quiet, and Barry would agree. But now he's coming out of himself and he's becoming more expressive. And you know, we've got great friendships in the team now. You know, they've got their cliques and stuff, but it's a nice family there that they're developing. You know, so it's good. I'm really enjoying it, and he's enjoying it. So.
Yeah, amazing. And Leroy.
Yeah. So again, I think what Coach Frank, I can't expand on any further than what Coach Frank so eloquently said. Leroy's still in his embryonic sort of stage of his career. We've only made the one move to the team from the team that I'm not going to mention to Independent. So I can't add, but I'll be interested for my other co-parents to understand what was the difference from, I believe, from Charlton to Fulham, and why one set of one team said that he's too short, and another academy said that we're just what you're looking for. How does that work?
I think Barry would be great to explain.
Please,
sorry.
yeah, please.
I think for me, just to quickly before the parents come in, I think coaches and clubs have different views on things. I mean, coaches will like something particular about a particular boy, other coaches don't. So it's very particular in terms of what coaches like. It's not all a broad spectrum. This player has to be this, and it's very.
It depends. At a lot of academies, it depends what their ethos is. Some clubs like big defenders, big strong players come in. Absolutely. And sometimes the whole academy changes. When they have a changeover, who's in charge of the youth section or what section, the whole ethos of that could change overnight. So 1 minute your son's one of the main players there, next minute your son's gone. A changeover's happened. But I don't understand. It's been going on for years about this hype.
Yeah,
and all the main best players in the world are all short.
Yeah,
all the great players have been short. So I do not understand.
Yeah, and sorry, Coach.
Yeah, so a lot of it is that it all depends on the club, and what a lot of parents fail, they must understand it's not just about your son's ability or whatever. There's so much politics in academies. It's not just how you play. There's so much other elements in there, which I said, Hortense and Patrick can tell you. There's so much different small things that happen in academies. It's never straightforward, and sometimes you never really know what's happening. So you always got to be aware. You got to always be prepared if your child moves and to move on. But they can't do anything without, like you said, Nana, without the parent support. Because they could have just given up after the first rejection and just said, this ain't for Troy, let's move on, do something else. Let's get on with your education. Because I've seen so many parents pull their children out because of reasons like because their child's short, the club has been unfair, and they're not being told the real reason why their child is not being pushed in the academy. So all those parents wishing to run into academy, do your research about the club and what that club's about and how much boys have come through that club into the first team, because Fulham has not got a great track record of producing young players going into their first team. And I think parents need to look at clubs and say, what is their track record of bringing grassroots players into the academy and pushing them into the first team? There's not many clubs that can hold up their hand.
Yeah. This is a question to actually anyone. I mean, do you think the British system is still way behind compared to the Dutch, the Belgians, the Italians? I mean, where would you guys rank where we are as a nation?
In terms of what, developing players?
Developing players. Let's say developing players.
Well, I can tell you, I went to Belgium to Greece. I've been to Belgium and I've been to France. And those countries, they've got so many facilities. Our main thing in these art areas, the facilities are terrible. When I went to Belgium, every even small club, the government, the FA built a 4G pitch for them. So every club had a grass ground with a little stadium, and on the other side, they had a 4G community pitch. And that's everywhere. I went all over Belgium, and that's what I saw. When you go to France, it's the same thing. Certain areas, there's pitches, availability everywhere. And the other thing they do, they've got a world of qualified coaches. Like what Mo does, that's standard. What Mo does, that's everywhere, all over the country. And they don't pick players just on this ethos of height, big, strength. It's not. When you go abroad, it's not like in when you go to Holland, it's based on your ability, your talent. So even if you're a 14-year-old can train with a 16 or 17-year-old in the academy, it's all based on your talent. It's not based on height and strength. What they're looking for is the quality of the player. How good is he? How what do you call it? His skill level. It's based more on their skill level and developing in them that way. It's not based on winning. It's totally about developing and assessing the development. When you go abroad to France, Belgium, and Holland, that's what I saw. It's mainly based on development, game understanding, and skill level. You're putting your skill level, not on your age. It's based on your skill level. So players might be all different ages, but they're all in that skill level. If you're that level of skill, you're based in that pool. When you go up, you go up. If you don't improve, you stay where you are. So it's a different strategy when you go abroad.
I think that's evident with what you're saying about the age and skill level. We look at Jude Bellingham, 17, well, now 18, and he's cutting it, with England, and he's also getting game time as well with the England national team. And he's 18 and he's playing with people 10, 15 years older than him, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's brilliant. Jude should be playing. He should get more game time. For me, anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So before Nana asks the last question, I know Mo has to go. So Mo, again, thank you so much for coming on, and also as well,
Harry.
and
Harry's my guy.
literally,
Mo, did Nana contact you?
He needs to.
Has Nana made the bookings for the pre-season fitness?
He needs to. He keeps giving Fabrice excuses.
What?
Yeah.
Fabrice,
Yeah.
step in.
Available.
Okay. Oh, wait. Okay,
You
no.
thought Ricky anyone?
Hold on. Wait. Okay, you know.
Hang on,
I'm
no,
available.
wait.
Let me just say.
Mo, has Fabrice spoken to you about booking dates? Because he's been on my case. I've
He
told him
has.
already. Okay, so why are you keeping quiet like I haven't said anything?
Me?
Like,
No.
Wait.
No.
Hold on. Okay. So literally, I can
I've
say
been
that.
available,
One
Barry.
with you,
I've been
Nana.
available. I'm just waiting on the date for Fabrice to confirm a date for me.
Okay.
And then if we have to go there, more has come down there. We do it.
Yeah.
Nana, it's the 31st of July. It's the 31st of July.
Yeah, but
So-
Mo was like, he didn't know what was going on, so I was a bit
Nah, I'm available.
okay.
Because Fabrice told me one date you guys have a friendly. Around that time, around the start of August, you have a friendly.
Yes, on the first Saturday of August. But
Yeah.
are you available before that?
I'm available on the 31st of July.
The 31st of July.
Thank you.
I've said that. So anyway,
Thank you.
so you know, and again, you know, to the very patient parents, you know, I just want to say there's a like story between Nana and myself. You know, we like have a very friendly rivalry here. I think I'm better than Nana, and Nana thinks he's better than me. And there's like, you know, people that have come onto the show that have said certain things. So hey, you know what? So like Mo has kind of kindly kind of agreed to kind of, you know, put myself and Nana through, you know, a few drills. Nothing kind of too intense because, you know, we all need Nana to be walking the next day. So you know what, it's gonna be fun. It's literally gonna be fun, honestly. And
Is it going to be recorded? Is it going to be
100%.
recorded?
100%.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
100%. 100%.
I want the whole world to see me put him to the sword. Put him to shame once and for all.
Oh dear. Oh, okay. No, brilliant stuff. But like Mo, thank you so much. And you know, I'm just gonna say now, Mo, I'm gonna add you to the group because Mo potentially could be a potential sponsor for Independent FC. So I'm just gonna pull it out there right now. I'm putting it out there right now. So
you got Barry, Nana, whoever heads it up, contact me, see what we can discuss.
You know,
and arrange.
Yeah, you know what, Mo? I'm gonna literally add you to the WhatsApp group. So thank you so much. And like Mo, we'll be doing a lot more work together. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Nice to meet you all, and have a good week ahead. Pre-season training. We back pre-season training, anyone?
Yeah, Mo, you got to come down one week, man. Mo, come down.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if we can do something for our team as well. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk.
All right, cool.
Mo.
Thank you, Mo.
Easy. Good night.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Take care.
And Nana, the last question to you.
Yeah, to the parents. How do you measure your children's development? You know, I'm sure you see a lot of clubs around. You see, you know, their peers. How do you see your children's development? And just a bit like touching on the question that Mo asked before. How do you feel? When do you see and feel like, okay, they're too good now for this side? Let me move them on, or not? Are you more focused on them? However better they are than their peers enjoying the football there, or where do you see them? Do you want them to be professional players? You know, how do you see them? What's your view on them? What's your, I guess, aim or goal for your kids?
Okay, and we'd like to start with Leroy first.
So for LJ, in essence, I don't want to be a pushy parent. If he decides that he wants to pursue it, my role as his father, as his guide, is to give him every available opportunity, whether that comes in the form of extra training, guiding him to the right team, which I believe I've done so far. That's really my role. So how I judge his growth is, take for instance, and Coach Barry mentioned it earlier. When I see my son watching clips of Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and all these fantastic magicians with the ball, and you know, he's watching 6-minute clips. When I see him on a touchline, and really this goes back to another set of questions that we asked earlier, but when I see him on the touchline, I notice that his concentration span is around about 3 or 4 minutes. So sometimes he'll be standing on the pitch and he won't know what to. To me, it looks like he's never played football in his life. He's just standing there, and I have to say, "Hey, wake up!" So that is what I found is a direct correlation between he consumes football in 3-minute segments. He plays football in 3-minute segments. There's a lot of growth to be made. My son is in no position to go anywhere. When I don't judge him against his peers, I judge him against how well he's doing. I only ever manage his expectations and my expectations of him against who he was supposed to be marking in that game. The amount of passes that successful passes that he made in that game. So in that way, whether the score is 10-0 in either direction, it doesn't matter. How did you do in the game? On the ride home, are you able to give not a full analysis, but if I say to you, son, how do you think the game went? Is he able to tell me, you know, we played really well in this way, we didn't defend that great? What are you able to pick up from the game and express to me? That's the sort of steps that I sort of ask him at the end of every coaching session, at the end of every football game, when I try and drag him to watch. Yesterday, I think last night's game was probably the first game that he's watched throughout this tournament, from whistle to whistle. So to me, that's okay. So there's some improvement there. And until, in my opinion, I can see that, yes, he's IQ more than anything. When he's on the pitch, he's always willing to run. So that's a major tick already. He's always willing to do the dirty work. That's another tick. But, you know, when I start seeing his IQ grow and the ability to understand what coach wants him to do from one game to another, one half to another, can he play in a different position? Does he understand what to do when playing in a different position? Those are the sort of mental ticks that I make before I even contemplate leaving. And lastly, you know, Coach Barry mentioned to me personally a few weeks ago that, you know, he come to the club, you know, good player, but, you know, doesn't open his mouth. Now I start to see him opening his mouth. So, and when I say opening his mouth, I mean, you know, giving advice and encouragement to his teammates. So when I start seeing those things all lining up, then I say, okay, but you don't know what you don't know. So I'm blessed to be part of this team where I can sit down with coach on a Sunday morning and just say, hey, what do you think about? And I'll never forget, coach, a few months ago now, I noticed Coach Barry just standing by himself. We're winning quite convincingly, so that was great. So there was no pressure. That palpitation in my chest wasn't there. So I was able to walk up to him and I said, Coach,
what is that palpitation? Why are you feeling?
Because
go back to that. We need to highlight that.
Listen. Don't tell my wife. So I said to Coach, what are you looking for? What do you see when you're standing standing by, and he said, you know, look, how they received the ball, how they passed the ball, etc., etc., etc. So to me, I then understood a lot more about where he needs to be by soaking all this information from Coach Barry and the likes. So those are the kind of mental ticks that I sort of make. As I say, we've only made one club swap, so we're at the early stage. But in a nutshell, that's what I'll be looking for before I move him on.
Okay, oh, brilliant. Patrick and Hortense?
I think in Troy's the way he is, he's his own biggest critics anyway. So it's sort of like he's always expecting more of himself. And recently we went to watch him just before this last lockdown, and he criticizes his own game so much. And we thought, after not seeing him so long playing with the guys, we thought that was a brilliant game. But he's just his biggest critics at the same time. So in that way, we can take a back seat and allow him to just analyze his game. And he's forever watching star players that play the same position like himself. And sometimes it's a bit annoying because we can't get the telly to watch nothing else. So yeah, he's constantly trying to improve on himself and still going out with his friends that are at professional teams. As soon as they're in London, he's gathered them up and he's gone again to play games or train hard again. And that's and he still go to see Barry and get training with Barry. So he's trying his best still. And I think that's the best you can ask for after the education.
Amazing. And Coach Frank?
Yes. I mean, for me, it's just him enjoying playing football. Just the enjoyment aspect of it is very, very important. I think you take reference from other coaches and the players as well in terms of his development, because they'll tell you when they see him getting better and there's that respect for him as a player. You know, certain players will he's doing well. Other coaches may comment. So, you know, you'll take that standpoint from, you know, he's improving. But for me, it's just enjoying his football and getting to the level that I think he's able to reach. Because when you're playing well, you get into that zone. There's a zone that you get. There's a feeling that you have, you know. So he's able to get into that zone and play to his full potential. That's all I want him to do, to be the best that he can be and just to enjoy it. The enjoyment is the most important thing for me. Enjoy playing football.
Amazing. And the last word to Coach Barry.
On what the development, to Bruce?
Yes, Coach.
Well, the main thing, like Frank said, is that they have to be enjoying it. And like we've spoken before about players and that, the biggest thing for me as a coach and the player is the relationship we sort of have and the trust we build between one another. And I can honestly say that about the Hortense and Patrick. Troy's drive is incredible. So all what he's been through, like he's a great example to all players who's been at academy, out of academy, in academy, out of academy. Just don't give up. Just believe in yourself. It takes time. There's so many players now that's proved that it's never over till it's over. They've gone on, they've been released. People say they're too old at 18, 19, and then look at them. They become top professional footballers at 20, 21, 22, 23. Don't let nobody tell you it's over when you're just a young teenager, so you're finished at 19, 20, 21. Like I said, I played with Wrighty. Wrighty got refused. Go and look at Antonio's journey. So all those boys out there, do not listen to people and people's opinions when they say you're finished. Believe you can do anything out there, and football will give you that chance. You will get more chances. If you put the work in, you believe in it, you can do it, you will get there. Believe me. Seriously. Do not listen to people's opinions. Seriously. Like, enjoy it and you'll get there. Be positive, people. Believe in yourselves.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you, guys. Honestly, thank you so much for like coming on and spending an hour and a half with us.
To Breeze and Nana, that training you're doing is too late because Raymond started training soon. So have you two done anything for Breeze?
You know what, Coach? I don't have to do anything because I know I'm so I am miles ahead of like Nana in terms of ability, full stop.
Yeah, really. Wow.
I'll give up.
You made me laugh. You see, you know the saying when they say empty barrels. They make the most noise. So I just look at it. Yeah. Empty barrels make the most noise. You see how you're screaming, jump and scream and shout? Just wait.
You know what?
Every challenge that he's put to me since to date, he's lost. And I'm the unfit one. So what does that say about him? But the whole world will see. Just wait.
You know what?
I rest my case.
I am like always.
I really want the Hortense family to watch it when that video is out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like again, to Coach Frank, to Leroy, and to Patrick and Hortense. Honestly, if you guys see me play, you guys will be absolutely in awe. Like
Frank,
you will literally.
I'm not in awe.
Yeah, you're the final. So I mean, I'm a like very, very special player.
To breathe. Have you asked Frank? Frank can see you play.
Frank. Okay, be honest.
No,
like again,
potential. He has potential.
He's fully playing 8 years old. He has potential. Oh my God. This is something you say to an 11-year-old or 12-year-old. He has potential. He's a grown-ass man.
Nana, you never stop developing. Nana, you never stop developing. Never.
Hey, stop gassing. Seriously. Yes, we all grow, we all developing mentally. Not. He's retrogressing.
I mean,
what a load of, oh my goodness.
I mean, I can,
oh man.
People call me the Roberto Carlos of grassroots football.
Oh.
I can, literally play in centre mid. They can call me like.
Tobias, how's your touch? How's your touch? How's your touch?
Yeah, listen, I got touched like a Jedi. It's unbelievable. This is like,
I can't even breathe.
That's it to breathe.
Believe in yourself to breathe. 100%. I literally believe in my own ability. Again,
of course.
Frank,
when a cat looks in the mirror and thinks he's a lion. That's how he believes himself. The time will come very soon. After the session, when we videoed it and it's on the clips and the whole can see, then I rest my case.
Yeah, we'll be like doing like a lot of training sessions. But no, honestly, thank you so much to literally all of the parents and again, just gonna wishing you and your kids just like blessings and happiness. 100%. So again, thank you so much. And I just want to put it out there. I've just been I've literally looked on my diary and on the 25th, Coach Barry, I will literally come to one of your training sessions. And I'm saying on the 25th, which is which is two weeks from now. So literally, I will literally be at one of your training sessions. I will literally film it. And again, hey, like we can have to showcase exactly what you are doing, what independent I like doing, and hey, again, without the parents, there's like kids to actually coach. So again, thank you so much to Coach Frank, to Nana, thank you so much. Patrick and Hortense, thank you again so much. And Leroy, again, Coach Barry, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tabrice.
Hello.
My name is Tabrice, the best grassroots footballer in London. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will see. Hey, and it's coming home. Let's say it. It's coming home, right? It's coming home. It's coming home.
We'll see.
Barry, say Barry.
Oh, dear.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I wanted to. His work's been lovely. Everybody's nice at work, so I wanted to come on.
Thank you so much, guys, and we will see you. We won't see you next week Sunday because it's the final, but we will see you the following Sunday. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. We will see you in for next time.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.